Hi, it's Kendra and Mike again, and this is, I don't know, I'm not gonna start counting videos because I'm gonna mess it up. So, but I do know this is video 2, and so I can count to 1 to 2. I'm not that stupid. Uh, so we left you a little bit of a cliffhanger, and with a very, very bad CT reading, and we have a good friend who works at the Mayo Clinic, and he suggested that we should possibly go to the Mayo, possibly ER that night. Mayo is just one of the best places to be seen for anything in this country, and they're just an outstanding hospital. Last thing I wanted to do is be thrown into something that's second or third or fourth rate, and I just really, when you get into a situation about your health and this dire, potentially dire, you want the best. And so we decided, after we hemmed and hawed, it was just so late, and we knew how the ER was going to be, and so, or how it can be. And so we made the decision to just come in the next day. And so, incredibly difficult night, incredibly difficult. Neither of us got any sleep. And before I get into that, let me just say, what we're doing with this video is we're really giving you a play-by-play of what's going on. So when I say that we went to the ER the next morning, I'm just talking like a couple mornings ago. I'm not talking like, oh, remember like 2-3 months ago? It's just like a couple mornings ago. And so it's fresh in our minds. And so we're not having to conjure up memories. We have them, they're raw. And so we want you to be able to walk this journey with us. And so
I hope it helps.
Yeah, I hope it helps. I hope it helps us. I hope 10 years, 15 years from now, when we look back on this and we laugh at or we think about how desperate we were, but how long of a life we have. We're not, these videos aren't being used by her to remember me, is what I'm saying.
No, they're not. Absolutely. I never thought about that. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
The reason for these videos, in fact, I kept getting this nudge to do them, and I kept thinking, no, I'm not a really big social media person. The last thing I want to do is film a video, like all these reasons I had not to do this. Yeah. And so I kept getting this prompting, and then all of a sudden the format just right in front of my front and center is like, you need to document these feelings now, and not a year and a half from now. You need to go raw and real, and because there's nothing out there, we don't think, because we would love to know, like little things like the fact, and maybe we'll talk about our driveway conversation today, the spontaneous conversations that come up that they have, literally like post-traumatic brain post-traumatic
PTSD?
Thank you. I had a little brain fart. Post-traumatic
stress disorder.
Thank you. Where my husband here just, 3 days ago, he's a commercial airline pilot. He's a provider. He's a protector. He's, fit. He's like the epitome of the alpha male, which he still is. But now he's sitting in the dining room table, and he's telling person after person on the person after phone with his employer that he has stage 4. Well, I guess I'm going to say it, that he has stage 4 metastatic renal cell carcinoma. That's
a lot of words.
A lot of words. And in addition to that, he has evidence of bilateral lung cancer. So what we went through, what we call the dark night of the soul, which was Thursday night, and I was an oncology PA as well, and my many years of doing a lot of this, you know enough to know what is really dire. And so the first night, all I knew was what I saw evidence of the CT and the report, which basically said, from what we can see of the kidneys and the liver, he's got lesions there as well. So I'm thinking, of course, he's got lesions in the brain and the bone, and we're going to be told, get your affairs in order. So those 12 hours were
12 years.
were excruciating.
Yeah.
It's just it's still excruciating. Everything is excruciating since that moment.
Yeah.
But
We're
that was
still on that
was
emotional
more
roller
so.
coaster.
But what really was a blessing, and we want to. The reason why we're talking about this is because we're talking about why we're doing this video. So anyway, we resisted and we resisted.
Yeah.
And then I knew I just needed to start. We just needed to share, and Mike felt the same way. So we're gonna do an atypical format. There's not going to be editing and all of that. We're literally just sharing our heart space, our spiritual space, our love space, our marriage space. What does it look like for us? Like this man, as I was saying now, is saying on the phone, I was just given a terminal I was just given on the stage 4, renal cell carcinoma that may have metastasized to the lungs, or I have another primary lung cancer. He's saying this about himself. That's a shift, especially in men, that is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he's always taken care of me, right? With Ruby the brain tumor, like I'll let you talk, baby.
Well, I mean, that's why we're doing it. And we're going to get into the emotional aspects, and it's going to be, to be honest, the uniqueness of this video is we don't know how it's going to end. It's not like we got on the other side of this and 3 years later started making it. We're making it just a couple of days after we found out what's going on.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we can look back 10 years from now and watch this video with all of you. And it's cathartic and it's helpful, and that's what we're doing. But do you want to talk about, our first morning? I mean, going into
the
emergency room?
Yeah. So yes, we got through that first night. Well, we breathed. Basically, we breathed. We maintained a pulse. Is the best way you can put it.
Oh yeah.
I was just a wreck. We don't need to go and stay there very long, but it was trying to, I'm pretty stoic. I think I shared yesterday about being stoic, about usually quite stoic when it comes to things like this. I have to be, being a neurosurgery trauma PA, you have to be stoic. But I was nothing of the sort. So we get up on Saturday, get ready as soon as we could to go to the emergency department at Mayo. And that way, when you go through the emergency department, I've been a long-standing Mayo patient, but not Mike. And so this is all new for him. Well, he's been with me so much. And so to go for him was just, just a massive radical shift in our existence, to be honest. Yeah. So we went, and you want me to finish telling about the emergency room and then you tell about after Sunday, or do what?
No, we'll just stay with the emergency room.
Okay. Well, do you want to continue, baby? I don't want to do.
Well, I tell you what.
To share, not me.
And real quickly, like I said, my wife is. I just want to go back and touch on it because I don't know if we'll ever will, but my wife is incredibly stoic, and she's composed, and she is cool under pressure. We always talk about the duck not being able to see what's going on below the water because she just looks smooth, even though her fins are paddling. I saw her fins. I saw her break down. I saw her lose it when she read the report, and we talked to our kids that night because we felt comfortable enough because of what we saw in the report. And I heard her lose it, and we were just holding each other and crying all night. And so
cry, pray,
yeah,
hold each other.
Yeah, exactly. Hold each other, pray some more, and cry some more. And that was our night. And then the next day we got up after just a really bad night of sleep. 3 hours, I don't know. And then we went into the ER, and just like you would think, we were hoping to get in there before the crowds. Nothing of the sort. It was nothing of the sort at all. It was just crowded, and so now nothing's going to happen quickly. And when you're in this desperation mode, this helpless mode, all you want is answers now, and what's going on, and what are you going to do for us? And we're just sitting in there, and we finally got called back.
Everyone's coughing and hacking.
Yeah, and so, and everybody's in there with their particular problems. You don't know, and I look fairly healthy. But we finally got called back. We finally got a CT scan, and then it took about an hour, and we finally got the results. And then this is where I hand off to the PA.
Well, actually, I shared this with Winnie. Winnie, by the way, is my best friend. Her name's Jennifer, but I've never called her Jennifer. You'll hear about Winnie. But anyway, so I was just telling Winnie the story, but we were called back, and we had a wonderful nurse, and of course we're just we're just on pins and needles, really, to be honest. And so they took him back to have the abdomen and pelvis scanned as well, so we can see
And the head.
actually, yes, and so we could see exactly the whole abdomen and pelvis, and then also of the brain.
Yeah.
And so when he was taken back and we were waiting, he was just waiting, basically, like, what road are we taking type thing, because we really were afraid that it would be one of those situations, but we didn't want to just jump to that. So anyway, that dear nurse was great, and we were able to open up one of the reports in front of her and recognize, actually no, she walked away, and I feel bad. I took the little clicker and I'm like, well, honey, I shouldn't be doing this. her chart's open.
It's our little rule breaker.
It's our little rule breaker, but I'm like, she's gone. I know it's her open chart. I'm gonna do it anyway. I can't, I'm sorry, world. But I said I could get in real trouble, and I clicked it, and it was the report for the brain, and all I saw is no intracranial hemorrhage, or no intracranial pressure, no masses, and I tell you what,
it felt better having at least
it really
some good news.
Made a huge, well, understanding pathophysiology and understanding like really what this does for me was, it was everything. It really was. When I thought, hey, there's no cancer in his brain, and I knew there wasn't, I really had high suspicion there wasn't in the bones, because I saw his bones with the CT scan. I saw your ribs. I saw your spine. No evidence of disease. Then we looked at the liver. The liver's a cyst. I'm not too worried about the cyst.
Just one little off, and it looks probably a cyst, not cancer.
And so for me, it was like night and day. But again, we're all of the layers still have to be peeled back, and there's all this fear and unknown and surrender and what if, and we don't know if there's a certain type of this. So there's all these things that can happen.
So, long story.
But it did help.
I know. Long story short, we got some good news in, the valley of death, if you want to call it, if you want to go biblical. But in our darkness, we saw a little bit of shimmering of light. It could have been worse. It could have been everywhere. And like you said, it could have been a hospice discussion versus a how do we fix you discussion. So we're in the we don't know what's going on, but we assume we're in the how to fix it discussion. So, and so that's what it was. That was the ER. And we walk out of the ER knowing that we've got a full week of, hopefully they can get it done early, of testing at the Mayo and probably getting some biopsies and try to figure out what we have, where we have it, and we're going to try to get through all of that. And so,
do you want to give an update of really what we're looking for?
Sure. I mean, you've heard.
Is that what we were kind of?
Well, I was going to say let me just say this, darling.
Please. I just wanted to make sure we clarify.
And of course, I'll let you add on, as I always do.
No. I don't need. I don't really want to.
That's okay.
You can tell this isn't edited. I really don't. I really want you to speak as much as you want. All I'm saying is, I didn't want you to end it and say, yeah, we're just gonna kind of maybe like I wanted to make sure I clarify exactly what the plan is moving forward for what we know so far. Like I'll get specific.
Okay.
But I didn't. But I didn't want to. No, I don't want to stop you. I want you to.
Oh no. Well, my train's already off the tracks. I had no tracks yet, so. So why don't you go ahead?
No, it's okay. I'm going to say that, but then I'd love for you to share.
Just go ahead.
About the driveway. No,
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else? All I'm going to say was what it is, so you keep going.
Well, I was just going to say, we ended the day kind of walking out, kind of have an idea what it was, at least what's affecting, and we have a general idea of where we're going to go forward. We're going to get some testing, and we're in the Mayo Clinic, and we're in the Mayo system, and so if we're going to get sick, this is the best place to do it. So, so that's another, a little shimmer of light in the darkness. So.
Do you want to talk about the weekend at all?
No, honey.
We're going to stop it. Gotcha. We'll do that later. He's so good, isn't he? I'm like,
I know, and I know she already said, "Hey, we're not going to edit this." And I know at some point, people are going to go, "Oh my goodness, why didn't they edit this?"
Well, you know what? If they don't want to see it, they don't have to watch it.
I tell you what.
This isn't for. Trust me. This is not for. What do you call it when they go? This is not to go viral. Okay, let me tell you, it's not.
It's not. It's not. It's
no,
just,
if it helps one person in Minnesota, this couple in Minnesota who are terrified and shaking in their boots and are breathless and can barely breathe, and they see us and they know that we got through it one day, and we can kind of say what we felt. And what can we, like, what's our dialogue now to each other? Do we say the word death? What do we plan for? What should we plan for? Do we what do we focus on? How can I best serve you? What does it look like for you? Like, I'm wanting to serve Mike the best way that I know how, but that may not be the way he knows, and yet he doesn't know yet. So we have all of these layers that we're trying to figure out as a couple.
Absolutely.
And we felt literally compelled to share what those were, so in the future couples may have an idea that they're not alone, even though we feel
You're right. And you know
we
what?
feel alone because we don't really know.
And these first couple of videos, they're really time compressed because there's so much stuff going on in the first hours, and our hours feel like years. And so over the next couple of videos, it's going to be like this next day, this next day, this next day. Trust me, I hope we're sending videos that say, hey, 3 months into remission, nothing's going on, still
Catch
alive.
you later.
Exactly. Pictures from us on a vacation somewhere.
Yes.
And with maybe me having less hair. But that's it.
No, I'm already going to get him a shirt that says my oncologist does my hair.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
So we'll end on Friday, right, honey? Is that where we're ending? Because we got out, it was an all-day experience.
It was an all-day. So we walked out of there just basically shell-shocked. I mean, with still trying to grasp on those little, and that's all you can do. Is you can't lose hope. You can't lose hope. So no matter how dark it is, you're out there in the water, you're just looking for a little lifeline. Somebody to throw you a lifeline. And being at the Mayo is a little lifeline. And not having tumors in the brain or in the liver, that's a lifeline. So we're not giving up on hope. We never will, because we've got God in our life, and I've got her, this incredible woman. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow, and we love you, and hopefully this helps. And if you don't see it, you know what? This just may be for us.
That's right. That's okay too.
That's okay.
When you mentioned lifeline, it truly was a lifeline, because that literally changed. At least it gave us hope.
Oh, yes.
And then I'll just share really quick, because I'm sorry, but hey, they can always close it if they don't want it. At that moment, I decided, okay, game on. Well, I've always been very proactive in his health, but now I'm like elevated helicopter wife, proactive, where, and I cared for my brother who had special needs for many years, and I became a helicopter mom, big time. So I'm used to being a helicopter wife. So at this point, I then determined that we are going to have no like influence of negativity in the home. So I'm making posters, I'm making 8x10s. I'm putting pictures and scriptures and words of affirmation, and we're putting goals that we want to go to, trips that we want to take, and so we're sending out that eventually that he's he's off work. We'll talk about that maybe, I'm sure. But I was like, we're going to talk about the goal that you have to fly with your son, like, things like that, because those things are going to happen, and we're going to put nothing negative in our home. And I've asked every neighbor that we can see in our area, and we have a pretty open area, but every neighbor that even has any close distance to our home, whatever religion they are, I'm going one by one. I'm asking them to pray for my husband, so our home is surrounded in prayer. So I'm going to last home right there. That's on the calendar, by the way. I want prayers encircling our home, and we are changing to super healthy eating. I've got a wonderful neighbor down the street who's a physician, but she's also a functional medicine doc, and she's incredible, and they're such amazing people. They're dear friends of ours. Anyway, she's from Poland, and they cook these beautiful meals and these wonderful meals. So he's eating healthy, and I'm on it like a June bug. And I'll tell you what, I'll take this guy anywhere in the world to get care. Like I told my daughters, I take you to the caves of Madagascar.
Yes, and I'll go
if I have to.
Whatever I have to do to spend more time here with this lovely lady. That's all I want to do. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and hope this helps. And God bless.
God Bless you. We'll have to join you. You'll have.
What? I didn't want to shut her off. That's just rude. No, you're done.
Gosh, you'll have to join us in prayer one of these days.
Absolutely. Okay.
That would be great. We always do it twice, by the way. You know that, right?
I know that she's weird.
I am weird. Very.
But I love it. I love that kind of weirdness. Okay, bye.